Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Paul Enos, filling in for Sam Shad. Today, we're going to be talking to some folks from NOLA Education about how to prevent kids from dropping out of school 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. That's next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Find your pot of gold at Carson Valley Inn during the Leprechaun Loop Progressive giveaways. Jackpot progresses $2,500 each drawing night up to $20,000. And $10,000 in grand prize giveaways guaranteed Saturday, March 30th. Get your share of Leprechaun loot at the Carson Valley Inn.
Big R in Sparks is located on Bering Boulevard next to Smith's and across from Reed High School. It's a 50,000 square foot chick magnet. March is chick season at Big R. All locations. Cute, adorable, and save 10% on all chick feed and supplies. Bring the kids. Chick season at Big R. Hardware, chicks, and a whole lot more.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
Story County is leading Nevada. Home of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, Google, Tesla, Panasonic, and other world-leading companies. Story County provides thousands of tech, advanced manufacturing, and logistics careers for Nevadans. We're diversifying and driving Nevada's economy and generating millions in tax revenue and billions in economic activity across northern Nevada. Story County is leading Nevada's future.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Paul Enos, filling in for Sam Shad. And today we are blessed to be joined by two folks from the Big Easy, the CEO and CEO of NOLA Education, Virginia Robinson and John Alvendia. Talk to me about, you guys have a pretty amazing program that focuses on kids that are likely to drop out of school. So tell me, why do kids drop out?
The population that we typically address, first of all, is a population of kids that are disinterested, not engaged, not making it to school, usually from an at-risk population. They don't have the support systems at home that we did growing up. And these kids just get disengaged in school, right? They aren't paying attention in class. They're not even attending school. And it causes huge problems when their parents aren't bringing them to school, when you don't have that support infrastructure at home. And what happens is these kids typically are the ones that kind of drop off the face of the earth in middle school, where they're not engaged in classrooms. They don't feel like there's a reason to go through this. And they're just not motivated. And what's happening in classrooms with teachers teaching at a chalkboard does not engage them, right? They're used to playing on their computers and their phones and, having a lot of attention grabbing materials. And when they go to classroom, they're not engaged, and we end up losing them because of that. And we have to find a way to address that population.
So Virginia, you're the Chief Education Officer. So how do you engage those kids? What is it with Star Academy that you use to keep those 7th, 8th, and 9th graders engaged?
So 7th, 8th, and 9th graders want to be able to socialize. They want to be able to discuss the issues. They want to be able to discuss what they're doing. And so we put students together in pairs to solve problems or to complete projects. So they have some form of manipulative in front of them. They have a goal to be accomplished by the end of the class period. It's not a lot of, okay, at the end of the chapter, answer these questions. So they have the opportunity to do what we weren't allowed to do, which is speak in class, touch things that we wanted to touch, and kind of guide ourselves through our learning experience. So it's really important to us that we engage them in an appropriate social setting, which allows them to kind of be middle schoolers who want to touch and talk and play, right? So that's really our goal.
So what does a Star Academy look like in a school?
I'll take that. So essentially what we are is a school within a school. You hear about different special academies where kids go to, the privileged kids go to, or where you have good school systems and they're well outfitted, well equipped classrooms, innovative classrooms you hear a lot about. What we do is we bring that innovation to public school systems, into the most challenged schools in the country, essentially, with the group of kids that are at risk, academically behind, struggling to stay engaged, and we just don't have the right fit for them. So what we do as a company is we come in with a completely project-based learning curriculum. Kids are working with their hands, as Virginia mentioned, in pairs, on different projects, racetracks, robots, blowtorches, chemistry things. Yeah, they're just very, very engaged with their hands, and they're seeing why they need to learn this, what applications there are for the things they're learning in classroom. So as a company, we bring all that in, which is something that very few schools and educators can do alone. We bring in the projects, the equipment, the materials, everything they need to keep these projects running. And then we support the teachers to make sure that they can use this innovative approach of project-based learning in the classroom.
So is this just a couple of classes where they're doing project-based or based learning, or are you hitting English and math and science and social studies?
Right.
So we are what would be considered in a school system the core curriculum. We offer the 4 major courses within our school, the school within a school. So we do teach for the regular period of time, 50 to 60 minutes math. They move on to social studies, science, just like they would in the rest of the school population. So we are absolutely the core. We cover all of the state standards because we ultimately want to see these students educationally sound and ready to move on to the expectations of a high school and our college and our career path, wherever that's going to take them. So we must, it's inherent, it's imperative that we cover those core classes.
So imagine walking into your algebra class and it's all project-based learning.
Right.
That's the difference.
So that's what's keeping those kids engaged. All right, we are talking with Virginia Robinson and John Alvendia of NOLA Education, talking about their Star Academy program here on Nevada Newsmakers, and we're going to be right back.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. We are talking about education. I'm Paul Enos, here with Virginia Robinson and John Alvendia of NOLA Education, who have Star Academies. So I think a lot of folks really, I think we've always understood there's issues in our public school system. I think it's kind of been exacerbated because of COVID, and a lot of people have kind of opened their eyes and said, well, I shouldn't say COVID, but our reaction to COVID, and said, hey, we have created some issues within our school system. How long has the Star Academy been performing, and where has it been successful?
Yeah, so the program started back in 2005 in South Carolina. It was created as a joint partnership between our company and the Department of Education in South Carolina, specifically in the Career and Technical Education Department or Division, mainly because that approach of career tech ed engages these kids, right? So the program was started back then. We started with about 7 sites in South Carolina. And over the years, especially after COVID, we picked up a lot of growth. We are now in 16 states. We've had close to 100 academies around the country. And most of the time, it's been in those rural areas where at-risk population, high poverty, places where really they just are frustrated that they don't have another solution or a way to get these kids engaged, right? So it's been a very challenging group of kids that we've addressed, and we've got fantastic data over the years showing the impact that we have made with those kids, with this population.
So how do you identify those kids, and how many can you put through a Star Academy at a time?
We serve 80 students at a time in any of our academies. The selection of those students is a cooperative effort between our educational specialists as well as the school districts. So the school districts know their challenges better than any company coming in from the outside. And so we really talk to them about the students who are right on the cusp of going in a trajectory that the rest of the country would like them to go, and a trajectory that's really going to lead them into a path that's not going to be appropriate for the rest of the country, right? Citizens, we're creating citizens. So we do talk with them about students who are struggling, and our students who have shown a propensity for learning, but for some sort of reason outside of their locus of control, they're just not in a space where they're going to be super performing. So it could be any outside entity. It could be a loss of a family. It could be a move to a new state. It could be a gap in language skills because of, an English speaking language. There are all kind of ways in which a student may not be progressing the way they should be. So we will work very specifically and create an environment that reflects the needs of every district. So
are you bringing in teachers, or how do you work with those districts?
We do not bring in teachers. We are a partner. The teachers in that community know their community, they know their students, and they understand their needs. And so what we do is we will come in and we visit with these teachers as a part of their continual development into good teaching, appropriate teaching that's going to be a little different. So we want to work with the teachers that have been working with these students for the majority of their lives. And that's key. It's about making the teachers better, the community better, the kids stronger. And we have to do that with people who live in that area.
So how does that work? How do you come and set up a school within a school? And then, since you're using those teachers, what kind of support do you give to them throughout the year?
I'll start with the answering your question on the setup. So essentially what we do is we come into a district, we help select a site of an appropriate school, we build the courses out, we look at the space, and typically it's a wing of a building, 4 or 5 classrooms that we then convert, transform completely. by bringing in furniture, bringing in the equipment, the materials, computers, everything that goes into creating this very different learning environment. And then once it's all set up, then our education team comes in and works with the teachers.
Right. And we come in once a month in person. Any new program, especially an innovative program such as this, is going to need a level of teacher readiness that many of us, and I'm a former educator, very few of us are prepared to sit in this environment that is so different from the one we grew up in. So it's a very important part as a former educator to know that there's going to be a support piece that I've never had in the past. So having the opportunity to have someone come in and really help me to develop areas where I'm already great, identify spaces that I can be better, and work with me as a peer, not as someone who's in charge of me or someone who's bringing the rules, but literally working by my side to make me better, is really the goal of the education support team.
So it's nice to have that buy-in. Let's talk about some of the success stories, because I mean, you guys have some great materials I've seen with success stories all over the country. Let's talk about that, and what happens with these kids after they get out of the STAR program.
Yeah, so we've got many different metrics that have been given to us from school systems over the last 20 years showing the impact of our program. I'll start with the National Dropout Prevention Network, recognized our program a few years back as a model dropout prevention program in 3 different sites in South Carolina. We were funded in Mississippi at a point in time. The legislature did a formal evaluation review of our program called a peer review. Data came back showing very strong impact that we had on minority students, at-risk population, academically behind kids. Recently, we've had some amazing successes. The governor here in Louisiana put us in 16 sites. The first 7 sites, which were implemented 2 years ago, came back. Every school showed an improvement in their school performance scores. We had a district in Arkansas, supposedly the most challenged school district in the state, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, put us in one of their schools, actually just put 15 kids from a failing school, a school that was ranked an F school. They put 15 of their kids in our program. In 1 year, those kids did so well that the school came out of F rating because those kids bumped up their grade, and thereby also bumped the whole district out of state control, which is really a remarkable thing. It's very hard to get schools, once they're in state takeover, to come out of that, and usually it's a much bigger transformation that has to happen to make that impact. So our ability to do that in school systems around the country, but we have a district in south of Chicago where we took the district from the school from 13% passing to 78% graduation. So just remarkable impact that we're having across the country with the program.
So, we're talking about those kids in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. And, hey, you have some kids that are, they may be in 8th grade, but they're really in 6th or 7th. You also have a program to help those kids, right?
Yes. So the fact that our program was created to be an accelerated model for students who had already been unsuccessful in passing from the 8th grade into the 9th grade space. So understanding that, we come in and we will evaluate the students who are ultimately chosen after our conversations with the district to see really where they are academically. And many of our students, unfortunately, may have made it to 8th grade, but they're reading at a 4th or 5th grade reading level. Some even lower than that, depending upon life circumstances. So we will first and foremost look at literacy, making sure that students can read and speak fluently at their grade level. And then at the same time, we're coming in those mathematics classes, and we're going all the way down to 4th grade skills, and we're going to raise them up at their pace, where they're needed, where it's needed, and kind of propel them to that next level. So we've always worked in as an accelerated model, and post the COVID phenomenon that it was, most of our students are 1 or 2 grade levels behind not just educationally, but certainly socially, right? They haven't been in that space, and that's impacted their ability to be at the peak where they should be. So we always have looked at bringing kids from a space that is lower than expected to a higher space.
All right, we're talking dropout prevention, we're talking education with Virginia Robinson and John Alvendia here on Nevada Newsmakers, and we'll be right back.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Unlock the loop this March at Tamarack Casino. Cash and free play giveaways all month, including a progressive jackpot giveaway up to $20,000 and a guaranteed $20,000 cash winner in the Golden Ticket Finale. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
Calamity. It lurks around every corner. Or not. That's why UMC Quick Care is around every corner, with locations around the valley. UMC Quick Care, for all your small calamities.
7 at 7 is a newscast built for your smartphone. It's a 7-minute newscast available every weekday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. at lvrj.com. We don't waste your time, and we give you the day's top stories.
We at the RJ have noticed some similarities between us and a certain BTS character, RJ.
Plus the latest in Las Vegas business, weather, health, and entertainment news. 7 at 7 streaming now on your smartphone.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Paul Enos. We are talking about dropout prevention with Virginia Robinson and John Alvendia of NOLA Education. So one of my members, I run the Nevada Trucking Association. We're working with, the truckers. We're working with manufacturers. They talk about they need kids. They need kids to be ready to come and work for them in these kind of jobs. Can you talk about, some of the programs you have through the Star Academy that gets kids thinking about work?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's something that, I like to say that our program is kind of the overlap between workforce development and academic needs, right? Our schools focus on academic needs, on academic standards, but the bottom line is we need to expose kids to careers earlier. If you go into school systems around the country, typically they try to address workforce selection or career paths in the high school. And by that time, it's really too late, right? So the difference that we have is we are exposing kids in the middle school grades, in the 7th and 8th grades, 6th grade even, to a multitude of careers, 100 different careers. By having these kids work on projects, like I said, we have plastic molding machines, we have hydraulics, we have electronics, we have all these different things, weather stations, telescopes, microscopes, all these different things that kids are being exposed to now at a younger age, where they can start to think about the careers they want to follow, right? And it's something that these kids just never get exposed to. So exposing them to these things at an earlier age puts them on the path to some of the career high school option pathways that are there for them. So it's really key, and it's something that has caught the attention of a lot of different school districts and legislators around the country with this approach.
Well, and even the national governors have come out and said, hey, if you want to have workforce development, you need to start in you need to start earlier than high school. You need to start looking at kindergarten, elementary school, junior high. So any chance that you're going to be in the Silver State soon?
Well, we're working on it. We've come out a couple of times. We're excited to work with the folks we're working with. We've got some interest from a couple school districts, and we're hoping that this year we're able to put our first program somewhere in the great state of Nevada.
So where can folks find out more about the Star Academy?
Yeah, we have a website at www.staracademyprogram.com. You can find a lot of information, a lot of our background, a lot of our studies that have been done on the program. It's going to be the best source of information. Even some videos, some great testimonial videos that are taken on site at some of our sites, some of our schools around the country.
No, and I tell people, go and take a look. I mean, there are so many cool careers that, hey, I wish I knew about in, when I was in the 7th and 8th grade. Maybe I'd be working in a refinery and, making different types of fuel or something. So, hey.
You're doing great, Paul. You're doing great.
Not too sure always, but hey, thank you. Virginia John, thank you so much for joining us from New Orleans. Great to have you on, and hopefully we'll have you on again in the future, and we can talk about some more success at Star Academy. We're going to be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take an Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Unlock the loop this March at Tamarack Casino. Cash and free play giveaways all month, including a progressive jackpot giveaway up to $20,000 and a guaranteed $20,000 cash winner in the Golden Ticket Finale. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
If you miss any part of today's show or want to see shows from the past, you can find them at NevadaNewsmakers.com. Thanks for watching and listening.